call this meeting to order for July 21st, 2026. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Taylor?
Here.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Here.
Commissioner
Following that, our salute to the flag.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord God, that you have made. We thank you for each and every one present in this room. I thank you for each and every citizen of the city of Millville. Father, I ask for your protection during the storms that are coming, Father. Father, I ask that you would invoke wisdom and order in our commissioners tonight as they conduct the business of the city. May it be for the benefit of all the citizens of Millville. And we give you praise and honor and glory. In the name of Jesus, amen. Amen.
Join me with salute to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are none, Mayor.
All right, at this point, we're going to go to a presentation by Fire Chief Wetstein and the Director of Public Safety, Sherman Taylor.
Good evening, everybody. Can we hear me? Is that better? Okay, so as the mayor said, I'm Chief of Department John Wetstein, and I'm here to make a special presentation. Like many other municipal departments, the Millville Fire Department is one department. We all wear the same patch on our uniform, whether we're on a fire truck or an ambulance. Tonight and always, when I say fire department, please keep in mind we are just one big family at the firehouse. Joining a fire department is a commitment to protecting life and property. We train and prepare for the worst and hope for the best. We run scenarios in our heads, thinking about what we can do when we arrive at emergency scenes. I, along with many other members of my department, have been on locations of fires, motor vehicle crashes, and medical emergencies that ended with a fatality. But tonight, we are here to celebrate the greatest accomplishment that you can hope for when responding to an emergency, saving a life. At around 4 a.m. on Saturday, July 11th, we were dispatched for a reported dwelling fire with people trapped inside. We arrived on location with a toddler, Jack, on the back porch roof, and another occupant, Katie, inside. We convinced Jack to jump and was safely caught by EMT Klez, who then handed him to EMT Zerdruga, took him to the ambulance for treatment. Firefighters Wetstein, Hallquist, and Mendez grabbed a ladder from the fire engine, raised it to the back of the house to access the bedroom where Katie was. At the same time, firefighters Suey and Platt entered the house through the front door without protection of a hose line to begin the search. In zero visibility, Katie was found and removed through a bedroom window by the firefighters inside and on the ladder. She was brought to the ambulance for treatment, and both were transported to Inspira Hospital for evaluation. I am pleased to report that they are both doing well and have made a full recovery. We have Katie and Jack with us tonight. Justin, Katie's husband and Jack's father, is also here, who was working at the time. Justin is a former member of the Millville Fire Department, and I would also like to thank him for his time and services to the citizens of Millville while he was with us. I also have to give credit to Katie, who remained calm on the phone with the Cumberland County Communications Center, aka 911, where she works. She gave guidance over the phone, which was relayed via radio to the arriving crew with a location where we could find them. Also, closing the bedroom door was a very smart idea, giving them the precious extra minutes of survival time. I'd like to have Katie and Jack come up and help me as I present awards to the people on location. Over the years, we have given out medals of gallantry and medals of valor, and as chief of department, I felt it was necessary to go with the life-saving award. You gonna help me out, Jack? Yeah? You wanna help out? You got this? All right. So in no particular order, I'm gonna call out the 7 people that were on location that night. Please come up and receive your award. Firefighter Suey. Firefighter Mendez. Firefighter Hallquist. Firefighter Platt. EMT Sudroga. EMT Klez. And yes, my brother, Firefighter Webstein. I'm sorry I broke up during that speech, but to understand the importance of actually saving a life is beyond words for those of us in the emergency services. I would like to thank everybody that came for this special occasion. I know Commissioner Taylor has something else as well, and I know there's other commission business that needs to be held, so I tried to keep it as brief as possible. But thank you all. Thank you to everybody else in my department and on my team. I appreciate everything you do. Good job.
Job well done, guys. This one hits a little home. Katie's my goddaughter. I don't know what I'd do without her. So I'm giving a proclamation to everybody up here today. Each proclamation is specific to each member. I'm going to read a summary of that. Everything that each one of you did is written specifically in the, who you were partners with and that kind of stuff. Whereas on July 11, 2026 at 4:04 a.m., firefighters and EMTs demonstrated, you're not the only one, John, extraordinary courage, quick thinking, and decisive action in the face of danger, saving a life during a working dwelling fire at 39 Dorset Avenue with reported entrapment by responding and arriving to find and confirm entrapment and a toddler on the rear roof. Whereas such an act required not only professional skill and training, but also a deep sense of duty, compassion, and selflessness that defines the very heart of the fire and EMS service. And whereas this moment of heroism serves as a powerful reminder that one person's bravery can alter the course of another's life forever, inspiring all who hear this to hear this story, to act with courage and with care in their own lives. And whereas the citizens of the city of Millville, county of Cumberland, are profoundly grateful for these firefighters and EMTs' dedication, which stand as a living example of the values of service, sacrifice, and community. Now, therefore, I, Sherman R. Taylor, Jr., Director of Public Safety of the City of Millville, County of Cumberland, do hereby formally recognize and commend firefighters Kyle Suey, Sean Platt, Michael Hawquist, Patrick Wetstein, and Xavier Mendez, and EMTs Ray Klez and Sarah Zadroga for this remarkable act of life-saving heroism, and encourage all residents to honor and be inspired by this extraordinary example of service and courage. Thank you, guys. Xavier? Thank you. Michael Hawquist? Patrick Wetstein? Kyle Suey? Thank you. Sean Platt? Thank you. Ray Klez? Seems like every time I meet Ray, he's either helping me out on an ambulance or for my own personal needs or doing something for somebody else. All these guys up here, and Sarah's group. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right, if anybody would like to take pictures, I always take advantage of these situations where I don't like to rush it. So if anybody would like to take pictures with the firefighters, family members, we take a few minutes. If you don't want to stay for the meeting, this will be your chance to exit, but we'll give you guys a few minutes. We're not trying to rush anybody when we have situations like this. Come up, get your pictures with your family and the firefighters, and if you don't want to stay, you can leave.
Good, Bubba. It's right here somewhere.
All right, good. Thank you. I was hoping somebody would. I mean, I don't know. The tree thing. Yeah, because that's the whole planning board thing. Do you want to talk about the classified contract? The amendment to the third year of,
Okay.
this contract, so.
Yep.
At this point, we have come to the comment portion for agenda items only. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address and your concerns. Please limit your comments to approximately 5 minutes.
Good evening, Tim Carty, Millville. I just want to congratulate our first responders on a job well done like they do every day in our city. My name is Tim Carty. I'm a resident of Millville. I'm speaking solely in my personal capacity. My remarks do not represent any views of my family members, employer, business, or any boards or organizations I serve on or any other organizations or affiliate. Tonight, I'm commenting on Ordinance 3 on the second reading, the ordinance amending the city salary guide. At the last meeting, Commissioner Cott stated a couple times that this ordinance was simply a quote-unquote cleanup of the salary ordinance adopted by the previous commission. As a taxpayer, I took him at his word, but I also took time to compare the two ordinances line by line. What I found was not simply a quote-unquote cleanup. I found an entirely new position. Confidential aid to the mayor, with a salary range of $137,000 to $150,000, along with quite a few other titles and salaries that are listed in this ordinance that were not listed in October 2025 approved ordinance. That raises a simple question. Was this really a quote-unquote cleanup, as Commissioner Cott quoted, or a way to add more positions without doing separate ordinances and being transparent to the residents on the new job titles and the new salary ranges? The really big question is, why does the mayor need a confidential aid, and why such a high salary? Under the Walsh Act, the mayor is a commissioner of 5. The mayor presides over meetings and does not have any greater power, authority, or voting power than any of you 4 sitting up front. The commission governs collectively, so why does he need someone to be his aide? If he can justify for one, then why can't the rest of you as well? So what unique responsibility justifies creating a 6-figure position dedicated to the only member of this governor body? My second question is for every commissioner sitting on the dais. Did each of you carefully review the ordinance before it reached second reading, or did you take Commissioner Cott's quote-unquote word for it? If this was presented as a cleanup ordinance, how did entirely several new positions appear in the ordinance? The public deserves to know when new positions are being created, not discover them buried inside what was described as a quote-unquote housekeeping ordinance. It's also about priorities. Our EMS employees are still working without a contract. Our fire department continues to struggle with staffing, Taxpayers were recently asked to accept a significant tax increase because we were told it was necessary just to fund this year's operations. Now we're being asked to approve a salary range from 130 up to 150 for a position that has not been publicly justified. Before you vote tonight, I ask each of you to answer these questions. Why does the mayor need this position? What specific duties justify for this salary? And if this position is truly necessary, why isn't it presented openly as a creation of a new position instead of being included what we are told to cleanup ordinance? The residents deserve clear answers before this ordinance is adopted. Then again, we never get answers, let alone clear ones from some of you sitting on the dais, along with our city solicitor when he's here. I sincerely hope you listen to the concerns and comments that I share tonight. Open communication and thoughtful consideration of residents' perspectives and our tax money are important in maintaining trust and transparency, not only in our community, but in you as well. Then again, some of you sitting up there have already lost some of our public trust due to your actions while sitting. Remember, trust is earned through transparency, consistency, and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardy.
Good evening. Kirk Hewitt, Millville. Question, thoughts on ordinance on first reading 17-1. The bonding for the street sweeper and the Vector truck. Tonight was a perfect example of basically your entire fire department and their relatives. There weren't many firefighters here because we don't have many firefighters here. As all of you know, I spent 4 years sitting in that seat as Director of Public Safety. There were things that we bought, there were things that we bonded to increase the capabilities of the department, including EMS. I'm not going to leave them out. Including safety of the firefighters, working with outdated turnout gear, working with outdated survival gear. Now we're going to bond for a street sweeper, which was brought forward when I was sitting in that seat. We didn't do it in the last commission. Let's face it. Center City, it's the only thing that gets a street sweeper. For many years, even being involved up here as a resident, all I heard was, you got to talk about the streets. The street sweeper's always in Center City. Folks, let's face it. You can run that street sweeper 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, and on Saturday and Sunday, they will be trashed. It's just the way it is. I'm not signaling anybody out. I'm signaling out that area because that's the area that the street sweeper works in. We have needed a fire truck for a while. I didn't have the cooperation when I sat there to bond for a fire truck. We talked about it. We thought we did. Then somebody decided, let's just throw a number at us. Let's repair this truck. So they came up with a $30,000 figure that would get that truck worthy. Not worthy on the firefighter department side thoughts or my thoughts, but worthy of a commissioner that was sitting up there. So we sent it out, $30,000. They poked away at it. They picked things to fix. It wasn't back in the house for a week and a half, and it was down again. And they continue to spend money on this. You guys are probably going to continue to spend money on it. You need a truck. You need a fire truck. Those people that were just here tonight, you all know what they do. I really know what they do. I spent many hours. I spent 18 hours at one fire scene with them. I was not absent. I was there. You say you're together in everything that you do. You say you're looking for the best for the city. Right now, the best for the city is bond that fire truck. It's going to take you 1.5 years to 2 years to get it. Bond that fire truck. Get these EMTs. Now, I was informed tonight that you have sat down with one meeting so far. Good. Thank you for their contract. Get the EMTs a contract. I was proud in my first month because the prior commission did not get the EMTs a contract. They started without a contract. I was proud to sign a contract for them. I was proud to stand at this microphone for months and fight for a paid EMS squad in this city to get away from Inspira. And we got it. Fortunately, even Mayor Santiago, 3 of us were up here one night, and we were going at it. He asked us to take it out into the hallway and close the door and come back in when we figured out what we were going to ask for. And I asked for a rescue squad. And other residents did. There's a resident here tonight that did. Another resident that did. Another resident that did. Folks, this city does not operate without public safety. Now, as I stand here, I see 3 of you that I depend on to vote no for this ordinance tonight. Stop it. Table it. Bring back an ordinance. Get with the chief. Get with the fire company. Get an updated price. Get us a fire truck. Get us firefighters. You don't know what it's like to be standing there when you know there's bodies in the house and you see your firefighters, what it's done to them. 18 hours. And I look around and I see volunteer fire companies from all over South Jersey, from Cumberland County, there with more personnel, volunteer fire companies, more personnel and better equipment. Look at Bridgeton. When the tower was down and back out at the factory, what did Bridgeton do for us? They loaned us a truck so we could keep this city safe. It is everybody's responsibility there. Everybody's responsible for public safety over anything else.
Thank you, Mr.
Please say no on this ordinance and get that fire truck. Thank you.
Seeing no one else at the podium, I will close public comments on agenda items only. Madam Clerk, let's move on to bills.
Yes, we need a motion to approve the bill list.
I'd like to make a motion.
Second the motion?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
yes,
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. Let's move on to reports of commissioners. Let's start off with Commissioner Taylor.
Okay, first I'll start with the numbers for June. The EMS division, 628 total calls. 307 of those were transported by EMS, 147 patient refusals, 65 treated with ALS, and a mix of the other smaller calls. The fire department had 128 total calls. Their top 5 were 37 motor vehicle accidents, 20 malfunctioning alarms, 9 accidental alarms, 7 fire alarms, 6 gas leak or odors of gas. Actual fires were 5 trash or rubbish fires, 2 grass or vegetation fires, 2 structural involvement fires, and 2 other outside fires. The police department, 3,448 total calls. Their top calls were 784 assist-owned agency, 188 motor vehicle stops, 147 UEZ patrols, 136 suspicious circumstances, 134 animal complaints, 129 unwanted persons, 114 motor vehicle citizen complaints, 107 property checks, 104 alarms, and 92 motor vehicle accidents. Now, I'd like to talk about the storm that we had this weekend. On Saturday, July 18th, the city of Millville experienced a severe weather event including heavy downpours, thunder, lightning, and very high winds. The National Weather Service has determined that the wind event that struck our city, mostly in the 3rd Ward neighborhoods, was likely a microburst. A microburst is defined as a highly localized, powerful downdraft of sinking air within a thunderstorm. As dense air plummets and crashes to the ground, it spreads outward in all directions, producing violent, damaging straight-line winds that can reach 60 miles per hour and exceed 100 miles per hour. The National Weather Service saw no evidence of tornadic activity or rotation in our area. The storm began around 6 p.m. and lasted until shortly before 7 p.m. During the height of the storm, the Millville Fire Department responded to over 30 calls for service. The Millville Police Department responded to 56 calls for service. 46 of those were storm-related. I want to commend both departments for their dedication and hard work during the storm and afterwards. From helping with tree removal and blocking of roads due to downed trees and wires. I also want to commend OEM Coordinator Stadnick for responding at the beginning of the storm and keeping me advised of the situation, and for coordinating our city streets and roads and parks department to get the cleanup started as soon as it was safe to do so. I would like to commend all of the city workers who came in during the cleanup and storm to assist our residents. It's not easy to leave your families to come in and help others. I would also like to thank our emergency partners who responded. Atlantic City Electric, who responded in a timely manner to assess the situation and prioritize the area hit hardest by the storm. I also would like to thank them for keeping us updated throughout the entire storm process of reconnection. And they did. They were texting us and calling us hourly, if not more. Some other key partners that generally are in the background of the emergency are the Cumberland County Department of Public Works, the men and women of the Cumberland County 911 Center for answering and getting help where it was needed to be, Comcast Xfinity, the multiple tree service companies that were called in by the various utilities. And at last, but certainly not least, I want to thank the many citizens of Millville that after the storm came out and helped each other. Neighbors helping neighbors, and that's what the spirit of Millville is all about. Pride, resiliency, and caring for one another. As I was riding around with Coordinator Stadnick to assess what was going on, I saw people helping each other. I saw contractors helping the neighbors move logs, and everybody was okay. We suffered no injuries in any of our departments that I'm aware of, unless that has changed since this morning. And I just commend everybody that came together and worked during this storm. We're supposed to have some more activity tonight, and I hope it blows over and passes us. I hope we have the Bay effect and it just splits and goes around. But like I said, I want to thank everybody and all the city departments that came together and all of the people in Millville that came together. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Ranella.
Sure. Bear with me. My notes are a little all over the place tonight. Before I begin my report, I want to acknowledge that what I'm about to talk about isn't normally what you would see in one of my commissioner's reports. However, it directly involves my responsibilities as an elected official, and that's to review matters before this governing body, ask questions, and ensure the public record is accurate and transparent. After taking a closer look and comparing the November 2025 salary ordinance adopted by the previous Board of Commissioners with the salary ordinance that's before us tonight, I think the public and our fellow commissioners here deserve a clearer picture. It looks like numerous titles have been added since November 2025. Many of them are administrative in nature, including, as Mr. Carty pointed out, a mayor's confidential aid of up to $150,000. The ordinance states that it's amending the salary ordinance to, quote, reflect new classifications, grades, and salaries. My concern is that we need to clearly understand what's being established tonight when we get to that ordinance, because some of these titles don't even have maximums listed. My concern isn't whether the positions will eventually be needed, but it's how the public that the public has a complete understanding of what's being adopted, and the record really should match the reality. So shame on me. I should have asked these questions sooner when this went through first reading. My responsibility now is to ask that the public has the complete picture before moving forward. But onto my report, the Parks Department is really grateful for the assistance from Streets and Roads with the cleanup at Bird's Nest Park on Dock Street, across from the Wood School. That area was hit really, really hard with this storm. Across our park system, Union Lake Park took the greatest impact, with nearly a dozen trees down and many more damaged with broken limbs hanging off. It's going to be a significant cleanup effort and will likely require outside contracting support. It's pretty bad. At the Mulberry Street parking lot, 2 trees are down. They're being addressed now. 3 trees were also removed from Corson Park today. The sewer department also lost power, but thanks to Sal's preparation and planning, a team was ready to respond and ensure operations continued efficiently on the backup generator, and everything is powered and running normal now. I just really want to thank all of our departments for coming together. Public safety, water, streets and roads, sewer, parks. It's all hands on deck response, and I'm just really grateful that everybody stepped up to keep the city running. For our upcoming events, we have Play Streets tomorrow. I hope all the kids come. Pine Street between 2nd and 3rd. This week's theme is going to be arts and entertainment, so that'll be fun. We encourage everybody to come out, participate, and enjoy the activities. We also have Holly City Fest coming up on August 29th. We're still accepting vendors. We're currently looking for additional vendors to help make the event a success, but our food vendor spots have already been filled. So we're no longer accepting additional food vendors at this time, but we welcome all other types of vendors to participate. And our car show is coming up. We're really excited about that. That's on September 12th. Remember that the first 100 people to register will receive a free t-shirt. Registration is first come, first served. You want those t-shirts, so please call the department to reserve your spot for either of those events at 856-825-7000, extension 7394. And you could also register for the car show on our city's website. One more quick thing. The Millville Sewer Utility gave a report for June 1st to June 30th. The sewer plant has been running good and as normal with no major issues. And not including the normal duties of the sewer utility. There's so many different jobs that they've completed here. If anybody wants to look at this, they're more than welcome to. It's up here on my desk. They've responded to 18 emergency calls, 6 emergency call stations, 2 street maintenance. Altogether, there were 24 total calls, 7,339 feet of lines cleaned. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ranello.
Before we get too long, because I forget to do this every month. Why, I have no idea, but I'd like to make a motion to accept the reports for June 2026.
Second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. Let's continue. Commissioner Cosman.
All right, I really just have one thing. I'll save the other one for the end. I really can't say enough about how Millville's Police Department, Fire, EMS, Streets and Roads, Recreation, Water, and Sewer Departments all jumped into action for our city this Saturday night. Mother Nature has not been kind to us this year, and Saturday's night's storm left several areas in yet another mess to clean up, with the 3rd Ward being hit the hardest, and it's a disaster over there. I rode through there after church Saturday night. When the storm hit, I knew it was serious. Neighbors, as I saw, neighbors were helping one another cleaning the streets as best as they could. City crews worked late into the night to get what they could, the roads open that didn't have the wires. Wires were down. And then another round of storms came through, hampering their progress. So many of our residents have been without power up until probably, I think, last night. They finally, that area. And continuing today, we finally got McNeil Street back open. There was 2 huge trees out there. Many residents, some for over a day. To complicate matters, our Streets and Roads backhoe broke down again, remaining out of service for a day until it could be repaired. It's back up, and it got McNeil Street cleaned up and opened. Despite the challenges, the resilience of Millville shone through as we muddled through and continue cleaning up our city. I just want to say thank you to every one of them. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Casabun. Vice Mayor Kopp.
Yeah, for my commissioner's report, we've been working on a lot of grants, lawsuits, Oprahs, personnel matters, collecting assessments, and contracts. That was brought up today. EMTs, I'm sure Kirk might have forgot a little bit, but contracts do take a while to get through. In fact, your commission was a year and a half on some of them. So you do understand that some of them are hard to get through. So I was surprised you were overly worried about that, but we are meeting with everybody. We met with Chief Wetstein prior, sometimes lawyers and things. It's just hard to get people in the room. So I will help you remember that. So we are working on the EMTs. We have not forgotten about them. We're actively working on them, but sometimes trying to get everybody in the same room. There's been nothing moving, but it was a first contract ever was what they had, and a lot of cleaning up to do on that contract. It was a hard contract, so we're trying to make this a lot better contract. And that's all we have for right now. The other comments, I'll wait for the appropriate time instead of going on.
Thank you. I have some quick things to say. Just want to,
Oh, sorry. I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the tax collector's report for the month of June.
Second the motion?
roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. All right, I would just like to, talk about the firefighters. I've known Justin Hatfield for quite a while. I've never met his wife or son, but he's become a good friend over the years, so I'm very thankful, not just because I know Justin, but because, every life is valuable, and the responsibility that firefighters have. I've never been in a situation where I've had to take myself and run into a burning building or run into a store that's being robbed or a first responder situation. So these folks are different. They're built different. And until you're faced with that type of, we all sit back and we watch TV and we see stuff like that and we try to say, I could do that. I could run into that burning building myself and do that. And until you're faced with that situation, we don't know what we're really made of. But the nice thing is, and the amazing thing is, these people know what they're made of. They've tested it out. They have proven what they've done. So we're doing everything we can to support public safety. You may not see outwardly what's going on, right, Vice Mayor? But these things are in process. These things are thought about. I spend 30 hours a week here with the business administrator, and my fellow commissioners come in and they see, you on the outside don't see what we talk about. We talk about these things a couple times a week at least, and progress is being made on a lot of these. I think people on the outside and folks that have been commissioners know that things happen on the inside that you don't come to the podium or come to the dais here and talk about every time, because things are being negotiated. And I feel like people sometimes want to know everything that's going on, when I think commissioners that have been through this understand that there's things that have to go through certain processes and negotiations and things that we don't come to the dais and tell everybody everything that's going on every moment of negotiation. So things are progressing. So I do want to appreciate the firefighters and EMS who put their lives on the line selflessly, and for, they're not making $1 million a year. So they do it, because they're brave people, and we appreciate it. As far as the storm goes, I do want to also thank the city workers, public safety, streets and roads, parks and public property. When things like this happen, we knew from the snowstorms how those people are called in, and they always pull through for the city. So I'm very thankful for what those workers do for the city, where, a lot of us all get to sit home during these things and just watch what goes on. But, they're the city workers, the ones that 8 o'clock, I know that 8 o'clock, half an hour after some of these things happened, Commissioner Casabun, some of the roads were cleared off already. Mm-hmm. It was amazing how quickly our folks got to it. I want to thank the ACE workers. I'm friends with some people who work for Atlantic City Electric, and those folks they work around the clock. I have a good friend, Brian Del Vecchio, who works, and when stuff like this happens, they are working. he says, I haven't been home since the storm. This was like 3 days later or 2 days later.
Well, Mrs. Delvecchio was probably very happy to hear that.
Yeah. So thank you for the emergency workers who go out there and work all that overtime to get our electricity back up. My electricity was out for 24 hours, and it's, you know, I cry about it, but those folks were out there in the middle of the night working all night there. So we appreciate that. And during the storm, there was a CBS News reporter who was in town, and I got a chance to speak to him. And the interesting thing that I want to say about that dialogue I had with him was he said he went all through the city, and he's been doing it for 2 years. Had a nice little chat with him. He's been doing this type of thing for 2 years, and he goes to all cities all over the place. And he said, one of the things he stressed was Millville is different than a lot of places that he's been. He said that he's walked up on people whose trees are in the yard, trees are on the house, and those are some of the worst times of people's lives where they have to deal with a situation like this. And he says normally people are nasty, they're rude, they don't want to talk to him. And he said that he saw things in Millville that he doesn't see anywhere. How the resilience of our people work together. People were happy, people were helping, and he said he's never really seen anything quite like that before. So I do want to congratulate and, you know, talk to the people of Millville and tell you how much I appreciate you for being the type of people who really pitch in for each other. And it's pretty amazing that somebody from outside the city came in and noticed that we are kind of different here. And I really do. And the more we do this, I think Millville is a special place. And I think the more I do this, the more people I meet, and the more things I learn about the city. Millville is a place that is very different than a lot of other places. You know, I know some people say things are the same all over, Vice Mayor, but Millville really is different. The things we have here, the potential that we have, the directions that we're moving, I really see some great things happening in this city. And we have great people, and what we saw tonight is evidence of the great people that work for and live in this city. Moving on to just something from the fifth floor. Great news, we became a part of a new program for the state called New Jersey Homes ABC. And that is a program through the state that allows us to better manage our affordable housing program. The affordable housing program not only builds affordable housing, a lot of people don't like that, but another thing affordable housing programs do for us, it helps us improve the affordable housing we already have. So imagine there's a home that's owned on the way into town, and it needs repair, it needs work. We can actually help those homeowners, if they meet a certain criteria, fix those homes up. So there's a lot of things we can do with affordable housing grants and affordable housing money that can help the people who are already here. And I think that's a great thing. Helping the people that are here in the city who need help. This is a program that's going to really help us dig in and make those people's lives a little easier. So that's great. Code enforcement. The code enforcement officers are very, very busy up there. They get hundreds of calls, and people that call up and they have complaints. I just have a list of the things: that overflowing sewer cleanouts, illegal dumping in alleys, illegal daycare concerns, landlord-tenant complaints. You know, somebody calls up with a landlord-tenant complaint, and that can take a half an hour of somebody's time. So, you know, our business manager, Sean Friel, is up there, and he gets these calls all day long. And it takes up a lot of time, and he's responsible for managing that entire floor. So when somebody calls with, you know, an overgrown yard, they want to tell the entire story of their lives with a neighbor. And we've all gone through issues with our neighbors, and you know how it can get, you know, blown up into a big thing, and they have to tell the entire story. So these calls can take 20 minutes to a half an hour, and it just eats up your day. Homeowner complaints about neighboring rental units, business sanitation conditions, fallen trees, junk in yard, illegal auto businesses. So those are things where we take those calls and we go out and we try to make sure that a lot of neighbor complaints take up a lot of time up there, where one neighbor has a problem with what another neighbor's doing. So code enforcement gets called in on that a lot to try to, I think there's someone in the town having trouble with a dog going into the neighbor's yard. I don't know if you see those as well, but I think I've gotten 400 emails on a dog in somebody's, honestly, it's gotta be 400 emails I have on somebody's every day. Every time a dog comes into this person's yard, we get an email about it. And that's the type of thing that the fifth floor deals with. And it can get pretty complex and time-consuming. So I want to thank the fifth floor, and obviously want to thank engineering for everything they do, and also want to thank Joe Couchy for all the great things he's doing up there as well. And I have a few more comments that I will save to the end. Madam Clerk, let's move on to regular business.
Ordinance for second reading. Ordinance for second reading, item number 1, an ordinance authorizing an application for a coin drop, Lawrence Township EMS, August 1st and 2nd, 2026. And there is a public hearing as well.
If anybody would like to make a comment on this ordinance, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and your comments. Seeing no one approach the podium, I will close the public hearing portion for this ordinance. Madam Clerk,
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second.
roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Reinello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Ordinance for second reading, item number 2, an ordinance amending Chapter 39 of the Municipal Code, Motor Vehicle and Traffic Regulations to add handicap parking at 323 South 3rd Street.
There's a public hearing on this as well. If you'd like to make a comment on this second reading of the ordinance, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and your comments. Seeing no one approach the podium, I will close public hearing portion of this. And a motion to accept the second reading on this ordinance.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Reinello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Ordinance for second reading, item number 3, an ordinance to amend the salary ordinance.
There's a public hearing on this as well. If you'd like to make a comment, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and your comments.
Good evening. My name is Tim Cardy. Once again, I'm a resident of this city. I'm speaking solely on my personal capacity. My remarks do not represent the views of my family members, employer, business, or any boards or commissions that I serve on, or any other organizations or affiliates. I sincerely hope you listen to my concerns I raised during the public comment on agenda items on this. Once again, even though it was just stated, contract talks are in effect with the EMS, but they're still working without a contract. A fire department is still operating with staffing shortages, and a department like Streets and Roads, short staff, and having equipment issues that was just stated. If you vote in favor of this ordinance, it sends a message, not only to me, but to other taxpayers, that expanding administrative positions is a higher priority than investing in our frontline employees who keep our city running and our residents safe. Everything you put on there was administrative. And again, it wasn't a cleanup from an October salary ordinance. There was other salaries listed and high-paying salaries. It's easy to praise these dedicated employees when they go above and beyond, whether it's responding to emergencies, saving lives, clearing roads after storms, or working long hours during snow events. They deserve that recognition, but recognition alone doesn't solve staffing shortages or equipment issues. The funding being used to create new positions and new salaries could instead be invested in strengthening our public safety departments, along with our streets and roads, with staffing and equipment that is desperately needed. Maybe it really is time to change the city's nickname from the Holly City to the city that does more with less, just as the firefighter union t-shirts state, because that's exactly what our frontline employees and public workers have been forced to do for so long. And it's time for a major change. And the change doesn't happen today, it doesn't happen tomorrow, and it doesn't happen next week or next year. It starts today. So instead of giving out high-paying, non-title administrative salaries like a mayor's confidential for $130,000, think about how many firefighters that could hire or public work employees. I believe $130,000 could probably bring on, at the salary of a firefighter base pay, maybe 2 to 3 extra. No, we put stupid positions in a clean-up salary ordinance to hide it from the public, instead of putting them on ordinances like prior commissions have done to be transparent to the residents of the city. I hope you make the right decision and think about the residents and the taxpayers and not keep hiring administrative staff to sit in their comfy air-conditioned offices and push pencils when we have workers that are dealing with the elements and saving lives that are short-staffed because one day, and I'm not jinxing anybody because I was a firefighter for 20 years, you don't want to have a line of duty death in this city. And it come to find out that we were short-staffed because this city will go broke in lawsuits. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cardy.
Hi, Laura Burns. I wasn't going to speak, but I have a question, especially with the blank salaries. That makes me nervous. And I did call the Division of Local Government Services today. I don't know how accurate it is, but I talked to the bureau chief, and I asked him specifically, can municipalities have maximum salaries blank? The regulations say it has to state a salary range. You have to state what the salary is. And the bureau chief confirmed that they must have the salary range. That includes minimum and maximum. And the fact that you would even be willing to put, I've never seen that, put blank spaces for a salary ordinance. I mean, people falsify public records every day, almost. Well, not every day, but recently. And so I'm afraid somebody's going to slip something in there. So it doesn't make any sense to do that, to leave them blank. Where's the transparency? Adding new titles, the new titles I added up comes to, and that's not including police, because I noticed police, I went back, a salary ordinance was never passed for the police department, for supervisors and PBA. Their MOA was, but it wasn't confirmed with a salary ordinance. Unless I missed it, maybe I did. But it's just to not do new titles, it's like you're doing underhanded shit, and you're losing the public trust. I also would like to know who all knew up here. I know she didn't, but who all knew about the new titles? And why doesn't it say new titles in the salary ordinance? It doesn't even mention anything about new titles. This is underhanded. And you don't have my public trust at all.
All right, seeing no one else at the podium, I will close the public hearing portion for this ordinance. Can I get a motion, please?
Well, no, not
Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry.
Not yet,
Vice
because
Mayor.
we can discuss it as well.
All right.
So, a few things. This isn't new, right? I know some people have never seen the blank salaries.
So, Vice Mayor, we're going to discuss it, but I'm going to close the public
Yes.
comment portion of this.
So I know some people have never seen the open salaries. Maybe they didn't look at last year's, right? So there were open salaries last year, just as this one. So maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't see. Maybe they didn't pay attention in November. That's possible. That was based also on our personnel director and our CFO, and they made phone calls too. No, not once were they ever told they couldn't do that. Everybody here, commission-wise, has seen those salary ordinance, right? It's been on, what, a month now? So every commissioner has time to review it. The new positions, I know a lot of it appears to be falling on me, right? The new positions are based on the personnel director looking at each department. Not my department, could be your department, could be public safety department. We look for the future. The public safety director had input on some of the potential new ones, fire department potential, police potential. You actually talk to the chiefs and things like that. Same thing with various departments. You might have had new salaries that in the future you might want. So she put it on for the civil service aspect and other things. There still would need to be a resolution whenever we hire them.
Correct.
So it's nothing crazy, nothing, I know.
I have some comments as well,
Yep.
Vice Mayor, when you're done.
I know a lot of people lack trust, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. But yes, so we did copy a lot of it from 2025. The open salary, once again, was the same that was passed by the previous commission. Not saying it's right or wrong. Just saying it's not new. So everything in there, anything new, I didn't put on. They were based on recommendations from the directors of those departments. So besides that, I don't think there's much else on there. All 5 of us had a month to look at them. I know some commissioners have asked numerous employees multiple times about the salary. Nobody's approached me. So nobody approached me with concern about a particular salary. Unfortunately, I don't want to throw this on you, but that one position is yours, and I'm sure you're going to talk about
Oh,
it.
I'm going to talk about it.
Yep. So that's all I have for that.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to comment? All right. So when we came in, one of the things that we had talked about when we came in was moving Joe Couchy to economic development. And there were a lot of people who ran for office, some I don't see here, but besides the ones here, they said, we need an economic development director. And having been here, and that was something I ran on as well, and having been here for 6 months now, I know the commissioner sitting next to me, and I'm not going to take a straw poll, see how much work that Joe Couchy does. And Vice Mayor, I know that you see how much work he does. I know Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner Cross, you know how much work that he does and how much things are in the pipeline and how valuable having those positions split. And I'm sure the municipal administrator would agree that there's no way he could properly handle economic development and his duties for municipal administrator. It's just not possible. It's easy to sit in those seats out there and go, why do we have 2 positions? That's always been handled by the same person. You don't see the amount of work that goes into that position and Joe Couchy's position, how much he works on in a day. He works in, he doesn't take a lunch most. He is working constantly all day long to make this city a better place. So when he was moved from the municipal administrator to the economic development, he was in the DCRP retirement program. Through no fault of his own, through the fault of the way it was done, not pointing any fingers, he was moved to the Director of Economic and Industrial Development. Inadvertently, that put him into a different retirement plan. He went from DCRP to PERS. Now, in the PERS system, it's a completely different plan where he will not get a single benefit, Vice Mayor, unless he's here for 10 years. So if he's here for another 4 years until he retires, all he does is get his money back with nothing added to it. On the DCRP retirement plan that he was on, he was getting a matching contribution, and that's the plan where it makes sense for him to be on because he's not going to be with the city for 10 years. He's losing money. So we said, how do we fix this? We can't fix the retirement program while he is in the title Director of Economic Development. So the only solution we have is at the same pay, same everything, move him to a title called Confidential Aid to the Mayor. It is the same job, same pay, same everything. It only allows us to put him back into the DCRP retirement position. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to move Joe Couchy from his title of Director of Economic Development to what's called, it's a confidential aid, because that allows him to go back into the pension program that he was in before. That's what's happening with that title. So when we do that, that's going to come forward on a separate ordinance doing that. You're going to see Joe Couchy moving from the title of Director of Economic Development to confidential aid. And I'm sure everybody's going to get a great kick out of going on social media and saying, oh my God, the mayor has a confidential aid for $130,000. Oh my goodness, we should be paying other people this. He's not. This is the same job, same title, same everything. All right, he's just going to be moving to a different title to be able to put him back into the DCRP pension program. All right, so that's what's going on there. All right, please. Finished? Finished? All right. If you're going to be a disruption, you can leave, Mr. Cardy, but are you finished?
I'm finished. Are you finished?
Thank you. I'm not finished. But if you're not finished, tell me now. All right, maybe move to the seat next to him. But if I can hear what you're saying, you're talking too loudly. So that's what's going on. That's the only thing that I know about that was on there, and that is for the benefit of Joe Couchy, and I believe he has everyone's confidence in here because we're all very well aware of the amount of work he does and what he's been doing for the city. Any other comments?
I do. I have a comment for the public safety end. So there are several new titles on the salary ordinance that involve the fire department. Chief Wetstein and myself had numerous conversations in length about the restructuring and where he wants to go with the fire department. This is the first step in recognizing those titles for the city that we have to do so that we can continue to grow his restructuring plans. It's the first step. It's not the last step, but it's progress in the plan that he has for the fire department that I have utmost confidence in him that the plan that he is working on is going to advance the fire department. He has great ideas. He has great plans. And like I said, this is the first step in advancing that plan. As far as the other titles, they're titles to be recognized that we may use in the future. And I think that our human resources, Mr. Rivera, has done a great job in looking to the future to get these titles in there so that we can recognize them. Because sometimes it takes a little while for the state to get behind us and recognize the titles that we have. It could take months. And once the fire department is able to move forward with this plan, I don't want to wait months. I don't want to wait 6 months, 8 months, 9 months to get titles recognized. If we can recognize the titles ahead of time, then that's what I want to do. So,
But there'll still be a resolution when that day comes.
correct. Yes, correct.
So you are talking to the chief of fire and getting his
I
input?
talked to all my chiefs.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Any further comments? All right. Can we get a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Let's get a roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kopp?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
No.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Ordinances for first reading. Ordinance for first reading, item number 1, bond ordinance appropriating $1,150,000 and authorizing the issuance of up to $1,150,000 aggregate principal amount general obligation bonds or notes of the City of Millville, County of Cumberland, New Jersey for the purchase of a jet Vector truck and street sweeper for the City of Millville, County of Cumberland, New Jersey.
I'll make a motion.
Can we discuss it real quick?
Yes.
Because I have a lot to talk about
Yes.
this. I never knew something so positive was going to need so much explanation, but here we go. We have been using Triad, which is doing an amazing job. So what we did with Triad is we gave them a list of some of our top things, wish list, if you will, things that Millville desperately needs. And we challenged them to find funding sources for these, including, hold your seat, fire trucks on there. So this isn't in lieu of a fire truck. This is in another lane going the same way. So Triad has this list from us of important things that are important to us that we would like funding. And why they were looking, they found this infrastructure, the iBank, they said, hey, your Vector truck will fit perfectly in this. They didn't say, hey, we're forgetting your fire truck or any other capital things. They're looking at all the funding sources, and iBank, the Vector truck, fit perfectly in this. And they also said, you're not going to believe this, but while we're at it, the street sweeper will actually be able to be in here as well. So that was a bonus based on Triad's hard work that they put in. And not only were they able to do that, they were able to secure a lot of the soft costs in that. The engineering, their cost, any other things that you sort of forget about from time to time. And if anybody's unfamiliar with iBank, and I'm not going to lie, I was as well, it's a weird structure in which it's an infrastructure loan, bank loan type thing, where they have different levels you can do. But it's for public utilities, sewer, water, storm management, things like that. Well, what is outstanding and amazing about this is, one, they have different levels to where the interest rate is extremely low. We won't know that yet. This is just the process of us to see if we qualify for what we want. And what we want is a principal forgiveness loan, which means this 1 point, I don't want to misquote because I know a lot of people out there really dig into that, 1,150,000 will be forgiven.
That's correct.
So $1.15 million forgiven. We would make an interest payment of, and once again, I'm not even going to quote it.
It's 1%.
I don't know what it
I
is.
think
I do not know what it is, but it's extremely low. It's a interest rate you'll never see anywhere else. So once again, it's not has anything to do with not wanting other things. Believe it or not,
We couldn't have you're saying we couldn't have used this.
we couldn't
particular
use
funding source
this
for
for
a
the fire
fire
truck.
truck.
It just could not. The Vector fit in this. Street sweeper was not on this. They found out that it could be, so we're getting a 2-for-1 deal. And once again, we meet, I don't say we, Public Safety Director has met with the chiefs, both chiefs, so many times to try to figure out what their needs and wants are. And like I said, the fire truck is his number one thing that he wants to get, and that we've been pushing, administrator has been pushing Triad to look, find, and we are going to do it. And not only is Triad doing that, they're also helping the fire department and other departments look for other funding sources for things that they may need. So
We were on the phone with Triad today.
We were on the
had a
phone
meeting
with Triad today.
Twice I was on the phone with Triad, and they are, and not to interrupt Vice Mayor, but one of the things we talked about not long ago was how much grant money that Vineland gets compared to Millville. And if municipal administrator, if I can, was it 20 million that Vineland? Close to 19.8 million in grants that Vineland gets, and I forget what the exact number was for Millville, less than 2 million in grants.
1.7, if I'm not
1.7.
mistaken. I believe 1.7.
So that's what Triad's doing, and I appreciate you clarifying that. Sorry to interrupt you.
no, and once again, I understand that a lot of the public, like the ones who spoke today, don't really know what the iBank is. So it's good that we can, explain that to them because, to be honest, I wasn't sure, a month ago what it was. But you can't just always get these iBank loans. You hope you apply for them. You ask for certain things, and then they let you know if you get them or not.
Right.
But yes, we're going to get a $1.15 million thing. Forgive if we get it.
Right.
We get
So
it.
if this resolution is for us to move forward in that process,
Yeah.
which,
And just to stress, like what you said, this is not, taking a bond of
Nope.
1.1 million and saying, hey, we're going to do this instead of a fire truck.
has nothing to do with it. We're still full steam ahead looking for a fire truck, whether we end up buying it later or looking for grants, but we are actively looking for all that, among other things, not just a fire truck. But I know people throw that out there because it's, it's easy to say we're not looking for that, and it causes chaos and things like
Well, it's
that.
a great
but-
social media post.
Correct.
Vice Mayor.
But we are still actively working for all that stuff. So I just want to let you guys know what iBank is and how important that is and what we're getting for them.
Very important because it provides updated equipment for the city. It benefits the residents, puts us in compliance for things. So,
Thank you, Commissioners. Any other comments from Commissioners on this? All right, can I get a motion?
Make a
I like-
motion.
Oh, yeah, you're sorry. I'll second that.
Thank you.
All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. On the next one, did you want to announce it first, and then I'll
Yeah, I'll just read the title. An ordinance amending Millville Code, Chapter 30, Land Use and Development Regulations, Article 22, signs to permit digital message board signs under limited circumstances.
So we received feedback on this. I worked, just real quick, I worked with this with our plan, it's the role of the planning attorney and the planning board, our planner, to do things like this, and we received feedback from the chair on the zoning board, and it made some good points. She was at the work session, made some really good points, and we are actually going to table this. We're going to make a motion to table, or I'm going to ask for a motion to table this, because I received it this weekend. I'm processing it. I still need to speak to the planning attorney, and what basically the changes we're going to make is going to her main problems with it were you can read it and it's not clear in certain places. And she makes a few good points, and what I want to do is I really want to dig in and make sure that it's as clear, and the changes I've made, I want to run it back past our planner and our planning board attorney to make sure that it's everything everybody likes. So thank you, Chairman Davis, for getting that to me this weekend, but I just don't have enough time for it to be on this. Within 2 weeks, I'll have time to get it back on.
She said she was going to get back to you over the weekend.
She did.
She did.
It was great.
She had some
And,
very valid points.
yeah,
that
it
we
was
needed to
good.
look
Absolutely.
into.
So
Very valid points.
I made those changes to the ordinance. I'm going to collaborate with our planner and planning board attorney over the next few days, and you'll see this show up on the next motion. Probably a little more clear, less ambiguity, and a way to define terms more. So it'll be a better ordinance for the collaboration from all sides. So can I get a motion to table this?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cobb?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolutions. Resolution item number 1, resolution authorizing tax and utility adjustments.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 2, resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties incurred by Millville relating to emergency repairs.
And very quickly, this was the property on the High Street that the facade was falling off. We talked about this in the work session, and we have tried and tried and tried to get a hold of the property owners, and they will not respond. So rather than letting a facade fall off, we took the decision to repair it. So the repair cost, I think it was a little over $7,000, will go onto a lien that's collected just like property taxes, and that's definitely going to get their attention. Can we get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 3, resolution authorizing amendment number 3 to Millville Glass and Door contract.
Yeah, their contract had one more option to extend, so we're looking just to extend their last option.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is for board and secure.
Correct.
Yeah. Make a motion?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 4, resolution requesting approval for the insertion of a special item of revenue funded through the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Division of Administration for the 2026 Safe and Secure Grant.
I'd like to make a motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 5, resolution authorizing approval of water and sanitary sewer main extension.
Make a motion. I will say that this is needed. There is a company that is looking to purchase that land and build on it, and we need to have this water and sewer out there.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 6, resolution authorizing approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the project entitled LAIF 2027 Broad Street Reconstruction and Traffic Signal Improvements.
We talked about this at length at the work session. This is a project that's been in the works since, I think, 2016. So this is going to allow us to actually apply for the grant for this, and it's going to be from Columbia Avenue to Broad Street, and it's going to make it 7th and Broad, and make Broad Street easier. It's going to do lights, it's going to do light organization, and it's going to synchronization, and it's going to do curbs and repaving, and it's going to make Broad Street an easier corridor to get through town. We all know how congested it is to get from, on Main Street from one side to the other. Some days it takes 20 minutes during certain times of the day. So if we can make Broad Street an easier cross-city way to get from one side to the other, that's going to alleviate congestion. So this will be taken care of by grant money, which is another win for the city. Can we get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
yes,
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 7, resolution requesting permission per NJSA 40A:4-39 for the dedication by rider for fees associated with tree removal and replacement within the city of Millville as required by NJDEP municipal stormwater requirements and the Municipal Shade Tree Commission.
So this is a state requirement when somebody comes in and does a project, or even people remove trees for projects in their own yard, they're required for certain size trees to replace trees. If they're caught doing it, they can get fined. We're going to be looking closer at the resolution we have to kind of fine tune that a little bit, but we were required to have a dedicated fund for when those monies go into. We didn't currently have a fund for those monies to go into. So this creates the fund when somebody wants to pay for the tree fund, the number of trees they've taken out. They're going to be able to pay a number of dollars per tree that they need to replace. The money has to go somewhere, and this is where the money's going to be put. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
yes,
Commissioner Ranello?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Resolution item number 8, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 40A-87, NJUEZ Police Program.
Yes, if this was a resolution in 2025, we did have a concerned citizen go through 2025 and found this resolution and found an error. So they just wanted to make sure everything was okay. They did contact the state just to make sure nothing was willful or fraudulent. And we did our own investigation. Nothing was done with any fraud intent, willful. Everything was good to go. The state came back recently and said, yep, they found absolutely zero that was done willful, and there was absolutely nothing fraudulent. So they said, just please post this again, and since somebody made a concern about it, so we're
So we're
putting
just
it back
fixing
on.
an error that happened
Correct.
last time.
Yep.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Can we get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second.
And roll call, please.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
yes,
Commissioner Ranello?
Yeah. Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. Madam Clerk, is there any new business?
There is none, Mayor.
All right, we have now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address and your concerns. And please limit your comments to approximately 5 minutes.
Yeah, hello there, Darius, Millville, New Jersey. I guess two small concerns I had. This is more for public safety and public works. Is there anything still being done yet to address like the vagrancy and the lewdness that is pervasive through downtown Millville? I've been seeing it personally. I don't like with the drug users and stuff like that, with the dancing in the street and the getting naked and all that other stuff as I'm driving through. And then I guess for public works, I said this idea before, and Mr. Hewitt had harked on this idea a little bit as far as like the trashiness of downtown. Like, you can't, if you street sweep, if you pick up the trash half an hour later, it's like someone came and, poured a entire, bucket of trash in the street. And I think like a low budget common sense idea would be just to have like trash cans, every trash cans and recycle bins like every 50 to 100 feet on like all the main corridors, especially like in the UEZ, like the UEZ designated areas like Buck Street, Buck Street, High Street, 2nd Street, Broad Street. And I think that would like curb the trash a little bit, like from, being thrown out in the street. So that's all I had to say.
Thank you, Darius.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom McGinty. I'm from Millville. You brought up a word, ambiguity. I don't know. You said you had this thing figured out with the different title, not your assistant, the assistant title. If you guys knew about it for a certain amount of time, maybe you could, instead of heading something off here at the meeting, explain or, in the course of putting up your minutes for the planning for the meeting, explain the thing how that works, because he said he wasn't aware of it until, and then you kind of like straightened it out and figured it out, and you might have eliminated some contention over the possibility of putting that title in. I mean, I'm not a finance guy, so I wouldn't have known. I'm like, new title, this, that, and the other. But it makes perfect sense the way it's explained. And the same way with the Vector truck. I was like, do we really need a Vector truck? We have one. The county loans us one on the, whatever that, they help us out with it.
Shared service.
So, but the ability to get one with very little cost is a thing of beauty. There's plenty of storm drains and so forth around town that need to be cleaned out. And people don't get that when the water runs over the top of the storm drain because it's not going through, and it runs all the way down Cedarville Road and winds up going into places like Rhonda Drive, where, I personally have been out there and helped people where their basements flooded, where a basement wall caved in and almost killed somebody. These things are important to have. You can't take a Vector truck that's used for the sewer and just go out and clean stuff up out of the storm drains either. It has to be cleaned, and it's a pain in the neck, and nobody wants to clean out a sewer truck, trust me. So maybe kind of like, even if it's an addendum to the minutes that were going to be presented, and I'm probably not saying minutes, but you know what I'm saying, the agenda, a heads up with an explanation of what you're doing might help. There's also some contention about a new city well. And there was a resolution or whatever for $500,000 to get an engineer to site this new well, blah, blah, blah. And there's speculation. I stayed completely far away from this because there's so many crazy rumors out there. We're going to sell water to the data center and whatever. I don't even know if you can do that. So the question is, if we know, why we need it and where it's going to go and why we need to spend $500,000 for an engineer when we have a $200,000 engineer, why can't he figure out where the well goes? I mean, he's been with the city for a long time. That's a lot of dough. So, and I know there's other things involved, but hitting water around here is not an issue. Anywhere you poke a hole in the ground, you're going to get what you want. And the well companies are the ones that figure all that out for you. So it's not a matter of production or having an engineer come in and say, well, you need to put the well here because this area is going to be a better production well than, say, another area. Or there's contamination here that we would have to deal with, so we'd have to do something else and double, triple case a well or whatever. An explanation as to why we're going to spend $500,000 that might fund, something for the fire company or salaries or otherwise, you know, just an explanation would make sense. To kind of not come out with that,
We did do that, but I'll answer that toward the end.
okay,
You just probably missed it.
yep, that's, you know, and I'm not saying there's anything surreptitious going on, just, you know, it's kind of a, you know, let's shed some light on it question.
I believe we.
Thank you.
We did address that. Thank you, Mr. McGinty. We did address that, what, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's
Two
been a
two
while,
meetings
yeah.
ago? I'll hit that in my final
If you
comments.
don't care, I'm going to sit in this chair. 'Cause if I sit in one of these, I have all, it's tough for me to
That
get
is
the heck out.
way too close, Mr. McGinty. No, I'm kidding.
How you doing? How you doing? You look closer now. Just want to say hi.
Angeline Broomhall, Millville. I have a few questions, a few comments. One is, if you guys could try to speak into the microphones a little more, like make that a stronger effort, because it's really, really hard for people at home to hear, and sometimes it's even hard for people in here to hear. If you could also make the effort to speak to the public, not each other, like you're really genuinely turning your head away from the public and speaking to each other, like across the dais and not us. It feels a little disrespectful for some people. There's a comment about not telling the public everything and that, you know, we don't know what it's like back there. And I want to remind 4 of you have been to this dais many times. You stood here on my side, and you were just like me. No different. Some of you even thought that what I was saying up here was good. You encouraged me. You liked what I had to say. But up there, I'm weird, and it's not nice. It's not nice. You guys have changed as people. You know, we are a community, and I'm really sorry that Mr. Dixon never knew that we would help each other. Because I can tell you, and I've said it to other people, some of my worst enemies in this town know I would help them in an emergency. If somebody needed me, they know, and I know, that they would come and drag my fat butt off the ground, even if they hated me. That's the way Millville is. Don't change that because you sit up there, because you're going to be coming back to us one day, and you're going to be one of us. I want to ask about tomorrow's CCIA meeting. On the agenda, there's something for an acquisition of land by eminent domain for Millville. And I'd like to know what that's about. And I understand the CCI meeting, but it's our land, and I hope that our commission can answer what land they're taking from us without paying us for. There's also an item on their agenda about awarding a proposal for T&M Associates for the Wood School building project. There was mention tonight about affordable housing, and I'm concerned now, even more so than I was before. Not because I don't believe in housing being affordable. What I'm concerned about is people profiting and becoming wealthier off the backs of people who need affordable housing. The last meeting, there was a resolution appointing municipal attorney, and there was a question about it. And the answer, I saw you guys going through the papers, it was not updated. It's still not updated, that resolution. And you guys never read it. You were given misinformation, whether intentional or not, that's not for me to say. That resolution is still incorrect as of today. It was asked by a member of the public. It's still incorrect. The numbers are still wrong, and you guys passed it. And that causes us not to trust you because we know you're not reading 50% or more of what you're passing. We know it. It's easy to tell for those of us who pay attention. Commissioner Cott, you said something about, we were working on this ordinance, a salary ordinance for a month, and why are all these sudden these questions coming up now? Well, you were asked about it, and it was told it was just housekeeping. And it took us annoying people to actually work through and do a ton of work that's supposed to be for you guys to do. I would expect you guys to be looking through this and finding and answering the questions. So when the question was asked at the prior, you didn't have the answers. It was told it was housekeeping. But now, because of the public doing their civic duty and doing their due diligence, now we know that's not exactly the truth, is it? That's not the truth. A lot of times when we're up here, it feels like you're not listening to understand what we're saying. Some of you are not listening to hear what we're saying. You're listening to respond, to defend your position, instead of trying to understand. I haven't seen one person at this podium tonight that I would look at and say they're a stupid person. Not one. The $15 million bond, application for NABAV. It was yes, no, yes, no, and Bowman did the study was the answer, which again, that's not very transparent. Yes, no? What kind of answer is that? So I had to go back and listen to what the question was and go back to the answer. So what you're saying is you applied for a grant without a resolution. You applied for a $15 million federal grant without doing a resolution. And you knew you were supposed to do a resolution because even our business administrator told you that we have to have an emergency meeting to do this resolution in time to file for this bond, this grant from the federal government. That alone can, if we get the grant, they could yank it. And you knew you were doing it wrong. That's the part that gets me the most. You knew. And you did it anyway. And that's all I have to say. I went back because sometimes I feel like if we don't fix these things that you did last month and the month before, how can we continue to go forward and trust you guys? You're losing our trust. You've heard it several times. You're losing it. And I just ask you to reconsider that, like, please. And the fire department, thank you so much. Real quick, this is my last thing. Close to 50 years ago, I lost an uncle who was a council person in Vineland and a 7-year-old cousin in a fire on Landis Avenue in Vineland. And when I tell you, every time I even see a fire, I cry. It affects the reverberation of that. Generations later is something that just never goes away. Not for I'm sure for any of the firemen, the families of people who lose anyone. So I can't thank you enough, all of those, even if it's a neighbor, but the firemen and the police and the EMTs that go and to these fires where you're not even fighting the bad guy, right? You're fighting a beast. And I'm so, so grateful to all of those first responders for doing what they do and to saving every soul. Thank you guys so, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one at the podium, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting. And let's go on to final comments by commissioners. Commissioner Taylor.
So, Mr. Smith, we are doing some extra patrols. We've actually put on the new special teams unit for the police department. They started July 1st. What would help a lot more for the police department is if instead of people putting it on social media first, they would call police department and let them know where things are, because the police department is not monitoring social media. They're not doing it. I see posts that are on social media and everybody's asking where the police are and all this, but not once did anybody say that they called them, or, you know, and I see it several times. It takes 30 seconds to call. You don't have to give your name. You just have to give the location and what the problem is. Completely anonymous for things, and it's just a simple process. I mean, I was a dispatcher for 32 years, 33 years, and you know, it's not a hard process, and the people that are on the other end of the phone are there to help the public. And I mean, you have some dispatchers that are crotchety here and there. It just comes with the job, but you still have to make that call first. Like, we're not there every single spot, every single place, and it would just help if, you know, people would just call us first, and then video it all you want, do whatever, you know, it's your right, absolutely, but call us and let us know that it's going on, so we know, so we can go there, so we can get there, because a lot of people, you know, probably need different help other than the police department. Like, I'm not on social media a lot anymore. I'm just backing away from that. But there was a video of a lady fighting with a refrigerator, you know, and it was sad. It was sad. Obviously, some form of problem going on there, and I don't know that anybody called. But they videotaped it for 12 minutes to, you know, see the lady, you know. But, you know, but I don't fault them for doing that, but I do just take 5 seconds to call first and then, you know, record and do whatever. In reference to the fire truck, for anybody to say that I do not care about the emergency services in this city, that could not be further from the truth. That could not be completely wrong, and it's insulting. I've been in emergency services for close to 38 years. That gentleman sitting right over there started me. It's near and dear to me. That's why I sit where I sit. It's insulting to say that I'm not working to get what the department needs. What angers me is the fact that for 20 plus years, it wasn't looked at harder. It wasn't prioritized enough. I will give props where props is due, and Commissioner Hewitt did get the EMS here, and it's great. It's really great. We need to expand it. It's part of the chief's plan and ideas. Everything takes money. We are trying to find it where we can. Ms. McGahee in the finance department, I was talking to her today, going over the capital. We haven't even started the capital yet. And one of the first things that's in the capital is the fire truck for the fire department, along with, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 ambulance upfits, rebuilds, and a new ambulance within, you know, and a couple other URVs. Next year in the capital is a ladder truck to replace the aging one that we have. I came in and I told the fire chief and the police department that I'd like to, you know, just replace the whole fleet. Everything that's aging, replace the whole fleet. Fire chief said, you don't want to do that. You want to space it out. You want to space it out so that everything doesn't go bad at one time. He's right. He's absolutely correct. I wasn't thinking correctly, you know. I just wanted to get it all going. I was excited. I'm still excited. I have a board downstairs that has all kinds of stuff on it. I update the board daily when I can. And public safety is my #1 priority in this city. I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care about the other departments. I do. But my department is public safety. And that is my priority, and that is my main focus, and that is what I am going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Rennell.
Yes. Commissioner Taylor, you mentioned a lady in a refrigerator. I agree with you. It's kind of sad that that's where our society's at, rather than calling. Obviously, that woman was struggling. They'd rather film her and leave a refrigerator on the streets probably for another 10 hours. That refrigerator is no longer there. That was taken early yesterday morning. So that is not on High Street. That video, I believe, was from Sunday, if I had to take a guess. I want to thank our fire department. See a mom, a little boy. I'm really happy that they made it out, and I'm really happy that you guys were there to help them. So I want to thank these gentlemen and the young lady, because that was pretty amazing, and I'm very, very grateful for our fire department. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rayler. Commissioner Koski.
Well, just to elaborate, the fire department, thank you. Noel, I've known your daughter for a long time. I'm very happy to see everyone came out safe. She did a good job training him, teaching him well, and that's what we need to do. We need to teach these children, and that's why the fire department goes to the schools and does fire safety for them, et cetera. EMTs, I can't say enough. They actually took my son. He was hit by lightning at that storm 2 weeks ago. So they're always there. They're always there, and we can always say thank you to them. They're dear to our heart. Just a final thing. We met with department heads, and so in response to this storm, the city's going to issue a special brush cleanup to assist with the recovery efforts. So what you can do is put your curbside, you begin placing your storm-related brush on the curb immediately. And to ensure that you have ample time for debris for your property, the city will begin its scheduled pickup in September the 1st, but you can put it out there sooner. Just follow the standard rules, make sure that it's the right size. It can only be so many inches across. If you need information about that, give us a call and we can tell you about what size you have to have. I think it's six inches for the tree branch, or 12 for the branches. The width is 6'6". Yeah, no bigger than that. Also, we did hear from a lot of residents who said thank you for letting us get out there earlier. They appreciate the extra time. So I know it's going to be a little messy for a while, but it's only an extra 2 weeks. So you can start putting out that curbage. And who knows what this storm might do too. Who knows? Mother Nature has been very mean to us this year. And that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Koski.
Great city of Millville. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Kopp.
Yeah, a few things. Firefighters, what an amazing job, right? I was first responder for 25 years. Police go through some insane situations as well. But I tell you what, in all that time, I have no desire to run into a burning building. You said that earlier. We can say different things, but to actually do them, we will never know until that time comes. So for them to do it takes a special individual to do that. And I've been in positions where a fellow officer has passed away in the line of duty. So for these firefighters to go into another person's house that they all know personally, have worked with, staple of the community, is, I hope their mental health is okay. Because those are the things we don't see. They're all up here getting awards, but we don't know what their nights are like right now.
Right.
Because that is a life-changing thing if that went another way. And they were able to do something that only they can do. So kudos to them, and kudos to you, Chief. Some of the other things, I'm not going to beat the salary ordinance to death. It is what it is. Some people, you can say whatever you want. It was a lot of housekeeping in there. There was a lot of minimum wages we had to fix, a lot of things going on. We stated from the beginning, there are future positions, and that's exactly what they are. You guys took the time to make growth possible. These are civil service positions that have to do certain things first, and just getting them recognized. Any new hire is going to be a resolution. Nothing nefarious about it. It's, once again, maybe explaining one or two positions might have been okay. But once again, this was to get them into the matrix of civil service. And then there's going to be resolutions for anybody we put in them. Whether, you know, I can't help whether somebody trusts us on that or not, but that's the case. New City Well, he may talk about that. I do know briefly, and I don't know a whole lot about that. That is the water department. So I do know we can't use any of that funds for fire. There's only so much you can take from water or sewer to go to other aspects. And I do know part of it is, and once again, I don't like numbers because, you know, if I guess, people hold you to it. The cost of raising that well to a new one makes more sense to do a new one, but I don't know about the engineering costs. So I think either Mayor might talk more about that, or we'll get more answers from you.
Talk about what I know.
Because that seemed like a high price tag as well. So I agree with you on that. But
If
that's
I'm
why
not-
they're doing it.
If I'm not
So-
mistaken, to raise that well over there would be close to $20 million.
Yeah,
So
so I
it
know
would
it's
be
something.
cheaper. That is exact, yes.
And are we talking about the Ware Avenue?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I don't want to get too much on it, on my, because I don't know. That's the little bit of information I know for that. We are all looking at all departments, right? Every department, every one of us up here is looking to grow. We haven't made any cuts at this point, so there's no less, you know, for anybody than there was 7 months ago. In fact, we've been looking to try to increase it. In fact, this is what the salary ordinance helps as well, because we're constantly looking to improve the manpower, the situations, the departments. So, and I wish our taxes could go for other things. As Mr. Cardy said, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, tax money, and we do got to remember that I would love to get more than a third of our property taxes. So it is tough, you know, as he mentioned, the school board takes a third of it. I know he's well aware of that. The county, both of them raised their taxes significantly. So he knows probably better than any of us that the decisions that, you know, like the board president and them have to make, and the county has to make, and we have to make, right? So it's a tough when you have to share the pie with everybody. But we're trying, and I get that. People aren't happy. Rhonda Drive, I'm thankful that you were there, and you might have been there during that collapse. I was not only there, my mother lives on that street. I was wading through that water against probably everybody's there advice. And I was personal friends with the people that it collapsed on. So I've known them my entire life. So I do thank you, because I know, knowing you, you probably were out there that day as well, and I do appreciate that. But that was a very awful day for me and our neighborhood. And besides that, most of the comments, no sense of addressing. They're just attacking character based on assumptions, but that's okay. We are elected officials, and they have every right to do so.
Sure.
And that's it.
Nothing new about that. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. McGinty, I'll tell you what I know about the well. And they did mention Ware Avenue well is no longer functional or working, so it's too low and it's flooding, so it's ruining the quality of the water. That has put a strain on the system, so we need to find another well. And like you said, can we even sell water anywhere else? I've spoken at length with John Noop about this, and some people have acted like we could actually go and flip a switch and we can sell water to Vineland for the data center. It would take, and you know this from being in what you're in, it would take so many ordinances, engineering, to be able to even share water with Vineland, that you guys would know about it months and months and months ahead. We can't even do it. It's not even something you can do. So we're not connected to the Vineland water system. So to share or sell water to Vineland is not even something that we could sneak up and say, hey, we're selling water to Vineland. It doesn't work that way. So the well, they're looking for the best place to put that well still. They're trying to find, because it does differ. You know, I said you can hit poke a hole in the ground and get water. And I know what you mean. There's a lot of water out there. But finding the best place to put a well makes a big difference. And as more development starts happening in the city, having good water sources that provide, a decent amount of water for the new development is going to be very important, especially when the water is strained from the Ware Avenue well not working very well. I can't really speak to the exact costs of what that costs. I'd have to take a closer look at that. But that's what's going on. Well, we're not putting wells in for any other city or any other data center, Vice Mayor. I don't know. I got to jump back and forth here. Miss Brumall. Where's Miss Brumall there? The Wood School, you saw public domain. I do happen to know what that's about. There's a piece of property on the Wood School property that was never made a part of Wood School. It was still owned by the original Woods from back in the 1800s. It was a piece of property that had a sliver that was not put as part of Wood School. So they're correcting that. There's no, and just currently, there's no secret affordable housing plans and development. As a matter of fact, as part of the A-Homes program, that program allows us to use grant money from the state to be able to put somebody in a position to help administer our affordable housing plans. So, and that's going to help us get compliant with affordable housing, help administer the program. And to go on that, any chance we get, we use grant money to pay for positions. When Mr. Couchy moved to economic development, that allowed us to use more of UEZ grant money to pay for his position. So where before he was making, I don't remember exactly what his number is, 144,000. I don't believe they were using a whole lot of UEZ money toward his salary, but that went way up because most of what he does is work with economic development. So we actually saved taxpayer money compared to the taxpayers not fitting the whole bill for Mr. Couchy's job. It's actually maybe even just half. I'd have to look at the exact numbers that we're doing on that. We can look at the ordinance for that. Let me see. We do sometimes not put everything out there. When we're negotiating contracts, when we're negotiating development deals, when we're planning things, we don't always put that out there, Vice Mayor, because that can hamper our ability to properly negotiate with the developer. And it's not necessarily being secretive, it's being, smart in the sense that we can't, talk about everything at the very initiating stages of it. When something becomes something, that's when it goes in for an ordinance or a resolution, and that's when the public gets a chance to see it. I think people want to know everything before something is really something, Vice Mayor. When something becomes something actionable and something that we're planning on doing, that's when we bring it, there's not much you can do in a city without bringing it to a resolution or an ordinance. The Joe Couchy thing, I'm very confident in speaking to some of the commissioners how confident they are with how much work and what he's doing. And I can't be any more confident in the direction this city is going with economic development. I know you see some of it. I know you see some of it. You sit in every meeting, and those meetings
absolutely.
They used to be how long?
5 minutes.
And how long are they now?
At least a half hour.
Half hour?
Yeah.
Hour? I think the other day was an hour and a half. We were talking about new projects coming along.
Right.
So there is a lot in the pipeline. You know what's in the pipeline. We can't just come here and put everything that we're thinking about doing out there, because that will hamper our ability to negotiate and hamper our ability to make these things happen. But when they start happening and they're a real thing, we have to bring them to the public. So that's enough on that. T&M proposal, I'm going to have to take a look at that and see exactly what that is. I'm not 100% sure what that was. I think that's all I have. And again, I think I said plenty, Chief Wetstein, on what I think about the people who do the work that you do. I don't know what I'm made of, as far as a burning building. I don't know that if there was a burning building there, that I would run into it without equipment. without even thinking about it. I don't know that about myself. But I do know the people that you have did that. And I appreciate it. And I know the city appreciates it because they know if my house were on fire, knowing that we have people who will not even think twice to go in and save my daughter, my son, my wife, without even putting their own safety into consideration. I know people, me, I'd be like, well, give me my breather and give me my hat. They didn't think about that. They just did it. So you have some good people, and the city appreciates you and what you do. It's quite a thing that you guys do, and I'm not sure I'm made like that until you're really put in that position. But it's lucky for us we know that those are the type of people you have. So thanks, Chief. And with that, I'll leave on a good note. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'd like to make a motion.
Second the motion?
And can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cott?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabun?
Yes.
Commissioner Ranallo?